Hello everybody, how are you doing out there on the internet? It's me, it's Shad. Hoping you are safe and properly isolated in this terrible time we live in. I don't laugh to make light of it, I laugh because it's an uncomfortable situation to discuss. Um, just me checking in with you again. As you may have picked up by now, I live pretty much through the magic of the internet. This is day 14 for me. This is the end of my 14th day. Tomorrow starts week 3 of isolation, and I say isolation with big old quotes because I live with someone, Chelsea, and I have seen each other every day. We work from home now, so it's not like we're truly isolated, but we're getting by. Other than her, the only social interaction I've had is a brief leaning down in my chair from the passenger side to, get the attention of the bank teller last week to say, hey, I need the receipt, not Chelsea, since we were putting money in my account. But that's been the extent of my face-to-face interaction. Everyone else, it's been, getting on the podcast weekly with my buddy Jen, or playing Animal Crossing, or social media, Twitter, Facebook, that stuff. Even my own kids. I haven't seen my kids since the beginning of March. I think the first weekend of March was the last time I saw them. Because again, compromised immune system. Oldest daughter has a compromised immune system. Gotta stay away from each other. It's been a trip, and I just want to check in again. I think I checked in on day 10. It's been four days now. Today, though, I was at work, and by at work, I mean, over there on the other side of the room doing my work. A thought hit me, and it's something that has been probably my own special kind of crazy. It's bugged me for a while, but I had a thought about it today. Those of you that know me real well have probably heard me talk about it before. I've at least written about it once, I think, where I have this thing where, as I said, I don't literally hear a clock ticking, but I am extremely, excruciatingly aware of the passage of time. And I don't mean in a second-by-second, minute-by-minute thing. I mean, like, I'm very goal-oriented. I have things I want to accomplish, and every year, every week, every month that goes by and I don't accomplish those kind of eats at me a little bit, drives me crazy. For example, one of them is I would love to be an author. I want my name on books next to George Martin and James Patterson and Robert Parker and Scott Snyder. It's something I really, really, really want to have happen, and I am uncomfortably close to 40 and it hasn't happened yet. It's not something I've been able to pull off. Not for lack of trying. Over the course of my life, last several decades, I've started many a novel, probably about a half dozen of them. Some of them get very deep in, and others do not. Some of them falter by the end of the 3rd chapter, and then some of them I've almost completed, and then realized that it was garbage because I'm my own harshest critic sometimes. But that's long been an obsession of mine, is, some sort of, I don't want to say fame. Fame isn't the thing. Recognition's probably more it. I want to be recognized for my creative endeavors. That's why this vlog exists, in part. That's why the podcast exists. That's why I do the video game stuff. That's why I write about video games. That's why I write about nerd culture. Granted, it's all very cathartic to me. That's one of my overarching messages for this month has been, like, find the thing that gives you catharsis. Like, whatever lets you feel free. Because I know we all, 90% of us don't enjoy what we do for a living, but we do it because we have to. That's my why. I work because I have to have a paycheck. I can't not have health insurance. I can't not pay my bills. I'm not at a point where my creative endeavors supply my livelihood. Imagine what that must be like. um, yeah, to have your creative endeavors support you, that would be fantastic. I envy people that stream 8 hours a day and then do whatever else it is they do with their time. I know it's hard work. It's not all play. It's not all fun. But it beats arguing with the VA, trying to get them to pay for some health care for some elderly veteran that really can't afford the massive bill that is, whatever treatment he had. That's my day to day. I'd rather have my day to day be struggling to maintain an audience. But that's me. So while I was at work today, I started thinking about the concept of legacy. As it pertains to specifically what I was just talking about, recognition. And the grim fact of the matter is that no one's remembered for very long in the scheme of things. Yes, you have your authors, like your playwrights like Shakespeare, or your authors like Jane Austen, or Vincent van Gogh, Michelangelo, Homer, Plato, Julius Caesar. You can name all sorts of historical figures. Abraham Lincoln. Historical figures, authors, artists. They made an impact, and we're talking about them centuries later still. But in the scheme of things, they'll be forgotten too. If I write a novel this year and it gets published next year, the year after, how long does that recognition last? Truthfully, if I don't ever write anything successful, the memory of me only lasts, 2, 3 generations? Thought about it constantly while I was working. That, for the vast majority of us, we're only going to be remembered past our grandkids, maybe our great-grandkids generation. Our friends will all be gone. Our families will all be gone. 5, 6 generations out. Who's going to remember you? There was a time in my life where that would have been very unsettling. I think this time period we're in right now, or maybe it's the medication I'm on, I don't know. One of the two, maybe both. I no longer find that as frightening. I'm kind of, truth be told, I'm kind of in a live in the moment phase right now. I feel super busy all the time. I'm grateful for that in its own way, that, I have a job that keeps me busy even though I'm here at home. But I'm not burdened with the weight of the things I'm not getting completed. I think it's the grim reality of how hard this bug hits. People get it and they're gone in days. And I think that has led to sort of an easing up on myself, where I don't feel, I won't say I don't feel like a failure, because that, I think, I live in this apartment, I don't have a house, I don't have a yard, I haven't seen my kids in a month, so it's hard to look you in the eyes, as it were, and say I don't feel like a failure, because I think that's just inherent in our current system, our current way of life. But I've noticed over the last month, maybe last 2 months, a lessening of the pressure I put on myself. I may never be an author. The podcast may never take off. PolyNerd.com may always be a passion project. But I'm increasingly okay with that, I think. Yes, I have dreams and aspirations, but right now, they don't feel like they matter as much. My dreams and aspirations are, still valid to me. There's still something I really, really want. and they're a great way to pass the time. I mean, I can't tell you how much joy I get out of recording the podcast every week. It's probably my favorite thing, and no, the YouTube channel is still the least viewed thing I do, by and large. I have pockets of videos that are doing really well, and then most things get 0 to 5 views, including these vlogs. My point here is that I don't feel pressure right now to succeed. And I think that's because, truth be told, my primary concern is just staying alive. I think that's what I'm worried the most about. My primary concern is not getting sick, making it through this pandemic. And with that, I feel liberated. I know that's a weird thing to say, but I feel like chasing that dream is now my primary escape. Not that it was ever anything less than that. It's always been my primary escape. Who the hell am I kidding? But now the whole thing, the paradigm has shifted a little bit, where it's like, I think the thing is that, I've had this ticking clock in here forever, most of my adult life, and it's muted for the first time in ages. Now, it could be the anxiety drugs. It could be the fact that, I'm just focusing so much on the moment instead of fretting about tomorrow, because, tomorrow may not come. Next week may not ever arrive. But I find myself understanding that, push comes to shove, worst case scenario, I may never be a published author. And there's a time 10, 15 years ago where that would have brought a tear to my eye. But today, it doesn't seem that important. Like the legacy I leave via being published or having a successful podcast or YouTube channel, none of that really matters as much as just making it to the next day and the day after that and the day after that. I don't know. Maybe I'm talking out my ass. It's just something I thought about a lot today and just wanted to share it with you briefly here. Before I go, I did want to, address the class of 2020, because I know all the really cool 18-year-old kids love hearing from a nearly 40-year-old man. I was informed by my daughter today that the prom has been canceled for her school. Graduation's still up in the air. There's a very real possibility I won't be able to even attend graduation, depending on where we are with this disease when graduation happens. It's a bad year to be a senior. But I'll tell everyone the same thing I told her on Facebook, is that you are completely allowed to feel what you feel right now. Your feelings are extremely valid. This does suck. Not having your prom, your graduation being up in the air, not having the last quarter of your senior year really, is horrible. It's a raw deal. But there are bigger issues. People are dealing with much more severe issues. That's important to keep perspective. But the most on the nose point I can provide is that, it's one of those trust me moments. I didn't go to my senior prom. I did go to my girlfriend at the time's senior prom. And in the almost 20 years since then, I have made so many memories that have all but erased that stupid dance from my brain. Same with my graduation. You know what I remember from graduation? the one thing that I truly remember from graduation almost 20 years ago, I was looking forward to being the last one to walk. And what they did was they took anyone who didn't show up at the rehearsal and put them behind me in alphabetical order. So I didn't get to walk last. I got to walk ahead of like a dozen people. That was my moment, man. And it was stolen from me. That's the only thing I remember about it. Of any consequence. Like I remember having to wear a tie under the gown. I thought that was dumb. Kids, young adults as you were, since most of you are going to be 18 shortly if you're not already. Life gets better. You get through this pandemic. You get through this mess. And the world is full of amazing experiences. Just on the other side of this voyage. So, keep that in mind. I know it sucks right now, but it'll be better. Things will be cooler in the future. You'll do awesome stuff. You'll meet awesome people. You'll love. You'll lose loves. You'll find new ones. You'll have families. You won't have families. You'll have careers. You won't have careers. You'll jump from job to job. You'll travel the world. You won't travel the world. No matter what you do, the world is full of awesome experiences. So yeah, raw deal now. Future's right out that door though. And that's going to do it, I think. I'm trying to edit this one. This one was a bit of an experiment where I didn't just talk nonstop. I said my points and then I'm editing it together. I hope it came together okay. We'll see. If this ever airs, you'll know it did. If I have to reshoot it in a different format, we will. But thank you for watching another OrNERDnary vlog. Make sure you check out An OrNERDnary Life on WordPress and polynerd.com for all the nerd life and culture stuff you can stomach. I think as of this recording, my most recent post on polynerd.com was the second installment of Doom Eternal, my playthrough of it. Later in the week, we have some more Ori and some Apex Legends and stuff coming. I've been playing the hell out of Animal Crossing in real life. I don't have the setup right now to stream it, or I would be. We survived this pandemic, and I most certainly will invest in this channel more. That's part of the thing. You know, as we discussed, I'm less obsessed with success and just with survival, but through that clarity, I am seeing that there are some things that I need to do to improve this stuff. Getting this camera was one. Soon we'll get a better camera. Soon we'll do better podcasting. Soon we'll stream Switch stuff and whatnot. And then, if I get that set up, I'll be able to stream from the other consoles without having to do the in-console streaming stuff, which will make the streams better overall. But it's all one day at a time at this point. And I would love you so dearly if you joined me on this day at a time journey. Polynerd.com and OrNERDnary Life. Polynerd.com is nerd culture, and OrNERDnary Life is nerd life. Pretty simple. And then Polynerdic on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, YouTube, which is probably where you're watching this, Discord, Patreon. That's it for me. Thank you for watching another rambling, however long this video ends up being, video of me talking about whatever nonsense was on my mind. Make sure you swing by polynerd.com on Saturday for the OrNERDnary podcast, and I'll see you very soon. Thank you. Goodbye.